All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go for heat number 1 at North Wilkesboro. Joe Lux and Justin Schultz on the front row. Bill Rabbits, Brian Hewitt on the second row. John Barry and Bill Lux on the third row. David Lux rounds out the field for heat 1. And I do believe this is the first time we've seen a heat race with all 3 Luxes in it. Hopefully they aren't mad at each other, having some sort of family feud that could be catastrophic for the rest of the field. Pace car will lead them around one more time. A few of them getting a little heat into those tires. David Lux is way behind. However, at the moment, he is not strobe lighting. I do know he has been trying to work through those connection problems in recent weeks, so hopefully he gets that fixed. He has been fast all season long. Would love to see him in victory lane in a feature. Pace car dives in. Here we go. Green flag is in the air. Heat 1 is underway. And what the heck was Brian Hewitt doing? Hewitt tried to make a move up the middle, right off the start, and Justin Schultz has a big lead. John Barry makes it through in second. David Lux is snuck to third. We don't usually look at the replays in the heats, not a lot of time, but let's take another quick look at this one. Look at it from another angle. There's Hewitt in the 25 on the high side as they come out of turn 4. When the green flag flies, Hewitt goes up the middle, gets into the back bumper of Joe Lux, and then that big mess into turn 1. Justin Schultz still has the lead, but David Lux and John Barry have caught him. Lux a little blink as he goes by. Here comes Barry underneath. Schultz now drops back into third as Lux takes the lead, but John Barry right there with him. John Barry pulled off an awesome win last week at Roll. He was way out of shape. Coming out of 4, holds on to it. These cars definitely lacking in grip tonight. This track is a bit slippery, especially coming out of turn 2 and turn 4. It is easy to get just 1% too much power down coming out of the turns here. Coming out of turn 2, you get the power too much, you'll slide into that outside wall. Coming out of turn 4, too much power will send you sideways to the inside. John Barry peeks underneath, can't get there. A little wiggle as the white flag comes out. One more time around. Is it going to be Lux or Barry? Lux gets a little momentum and a little bit of a gap. Barry sends it deep into 3. And out of turn 4, David Lux will win heat 1. Well, that was definitely an eventful first heat here tonight. And Brian Hewitt at some point should explain what he was trying to do there. All right, here we go. Heat 2. We'll see Ed Sr. and Timmy Martin on the front row. Ryan McDaniel, Zach Mead on the second row. Andrew Thornton and Richie Joplin round out the field. Everybody gets onto the grid. Looks like Ryan was trying to get Ed Sr. moving. He gave him a little bit of a love tap there on the line. All the drivers getting their pace laps in. Hey, good evening, Thanos. How are you feeling, buddy? Are you home yet? We are missing Gerald Thanos Poole tonight. He has had some problems recently. Has been in the hospital. Man, we are all thinking about you and praying for you, buddy. I hope to see you back on track very, very soon. And Gerald is home, finally, thank goodness. All right, here they come, out of turn 4, the green flag flies. Heat 2, oh man! Heat 2 is underway with a wreck at the start. Timmy Martin shoots the gap. Timmy way out front, Ryan now to second. All right, well, once again, we're going to take a look at what happened on the start. Ed Sr. there at the front, Andrew Thornton right behind him. And it looks like Thornton gets the better start. He gets into Ed Sr., sends him to the wall. Thornton even goes up in the air briefly. Wow, chaos at the start of both heats. And literally everybody but Timmy Martin and Ryan McDaniel caught up. Ryan has caught up to Timmy. Richie Joplin did have to tow it into pit road. Andrew Thornton drove it in. But, yeah, a rough start. Zach Mead now up into third. Ed Sr. heavily damaged, but in fourth. Ryan McDaniel in second. Timmy still has the lead with 3 to go. Zach Mead back in third. He's 2.5 seconds back. He is closing quickly. He has set the fastest lap 2 laps in a row. Unfortunately, 2 laps to go. Zach is not going to have time to get there, but Timmy Martin has pulled out to a 1-second lead over Ryan McDaniel. Richie Joplin has come back out on track as they get the white flag one more time around in Heat 2. And Richie just set the fastest lap. And here we go. Timmy Martin will win Heat 2 to start the night. Well, we've seen 2 very interesting heats. Man, hold your breath. Things are going to get crazy in the feature. Wow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. The feature from North Wilkesboro. Riley Duncan and Edmund Jones on the front row. David Lux, Timmy Martin on the second row. John Barry, Ryan McDaniel on the third row. Justin Schultz and Zach Mead on the fourth row. Bill Lux and Ed Sr. rounding out the top 10. Brian Hewitt starting back at 11th next to Richie Joplin. Bill Hippity Hop Rabbits in 13th. Andrew Thornton in 14th. And Joe Lux rounds out the 15-car field. Looks like David Lux is dropping to the tail end. Does look like he was blinking pretty heavily. Folks, I don't know about you, but based on those two heats, the start of this one could be chaos. It's a good thing we got almost caught up on YouTube shorts. I have a feeling tonight we're gonna get a bunch. All right, pace car, lead them around one more time. Any predictions for who's going to pull off the win? Drop them in the comments. And any prediction, what lap will see the first caution? That'd be interesting to know your opinions as well. Riley Duncan leads them into 3 and 4. Remember, the green flag flies almost as soon as that pace car drops in. There's the pace car. The green flag flies. The feature from North Wilkesboro underway. Already 3 wide into turn 1 and out of turn 2. Banging off the walls. Everybody holds on. Justin Schultz lost a lot of ground on that first lap, trying to get it back under control. Riley Duncan out front, Edmund in second, John Barry already up to third. Timmy Martin, oh! Schultz is around back behind, he gets straightened out. Ryan McDaniel loses some ground as well, but Justin Schultz managed to save it. While Riley Duncan was up front setting the fastest lap. See if we can see what happened with Schultz here. Ryan Hewitt just got by Schultz all the way up in the wall. Oh, Ryan slides up, gets into him, and straightens him back out. But both drivers losing a lot of ground. Andrew Thornton on the move, already up 5 spots into 9th place and just set the fastest lap. Richie Joplin just ahead of him, up 4 spots into 8th. And Richie looked a bit out of shape coming out of turn 4 a moment ago. He's got the grip coming out this time. Riley Duncan still holds the lead and is pulling a gap on Edmund. John Barry in third, still within striking distance. Bill Lux in fourth, Brian Hewitt in fifth. Brian Hewitt has really been having some good races here lately if he doesn't get caught up in a mess or as we saw in Heat 1, doesn't cause a mess. Zach Mead now up to 6, Richie in 7. Joe Lux has had a problem. The caution is out for the first time. Looks like Schultz may have gotten a little bit too. We'll take a look, starting with Joe Lux. There's Joe in the 0-4 off. Oh! Schultz gets a big run into the turn. He cuts through the entrance to pit road, but Joe Lux, man. Get a little bit of a different view here. Looks like Lux got out of the throttle. Schultz had a big run and a hard hit for Lux. On the upside, we do have 3 Luxes out here, so if one Lux fails, 2 more are in backup. Riley Duncan, as they stack up, continues to lead. Edmond in second. You know Riley did not want to see a caution. He was pulling away. David Lux had lost connection earlier. He is back on track. A lot of laps down, but he is back in the fight. And he is still having problems. That there is, Gerald. That there is. All right, here we go. No, they delay the green. Lights are out as they stack back up for the restart. Riley Duncan, Edmund Jones on the front row. Bill Lux, John Berry right behind. And the pace car dives in. The green flag flies again. Riley, another great launch. Off into turn 1 has the lead. Edmund is right there. Bill Lux trying to get past Barry on the high side. He does clear it into third. Andrew Thornton trying to cut his way through the field. Right on the back bumper of Zachary Mead and Richie Joplin. Oh, close call. Ryan got a really good run into turn 1. Almost got the nose under Thornton as Thornton looked down. Ryan Hewitt getting into the fight with Richie Joplin. Thornton trying to make the move to the outside. Andrew does get past Zach Mead and takes 7th. Meanwhile, Richie Joplin up into 5th. Riley Duncan continues to lead. Edmond in second. They're starting to put some space between them and Bill Lux in third. John Berry currently in 4th, Richie Joplin in 5th. Thornton continuing to look outside. There is something to be said for running the high line here in North Wilkesboro. If you can get it right, it is the faster way around, but it is tricky to run that outside line here. But you do carry quite a bit more momentum as Hewitt gets a little squirrely out of 2, but holds on to it. Bill Hippity off Rabbits, now up into 11th, and he is closing the gap on Timmy Martin in 10th. Ed Sr. still in the fight, back in 13th. Joe Lutz a lap down in 14th. He is definitely open for another caution to get the lucky dog. And as we approach the halfway point, folks, it is worth noting all the drivers said 20 to 25 laps, and the tires are pretty worn out here tonight. Likely to see a lot more sliding and maybe some more incidents as everybody is going to be struggling for grip. The track is hot tonight despite the air temperature being 65. The track is currently 122 degrees. That is tire melting hot. That's definitely going to make things a lot harder on the drivers. Hey, good evening, Tina. How are you? Richie Joplin is taken fourth from John Berry. John slipping back into fifth. Brian Hewitt in sixth. Andrew Thornton in seventh. Zach Mead in eighth. Ryan McDaniel holding on to ninth. And Timmy Martin in 10th. Timmy's starting to peek to the outside through the turns. Can he make something of it? Riley starting to put some space between him and Edmund again. As Richie goes underneath, he is going to take third. Bill Lutz tries to fight back up top. And Bill might have a run off the high side. Down into 3 and 4, Bill trying, but Richie gets the run out of 4. He will take third. John Berry tried to get up underneath Lutz, but just couldn't get there in time. Brian Hewitt back in 6th. Surprisingly, Andrew Thornton is slipping back a little bit. Thornton now back into 7th, still up 7 spots from where he started, but now Meade is looking underneath. For a bit there, it did look like Andrew is going to come cutting his way to the front. Oh, Andrew gets loose out of 4. Yep, these cars are definitely a handful tonight. Let's dial up Brian Hewitt's in-car camera. And you'll see just how much they are having to work that wheel tonight. Down into 1 and 2. As soon as they get back on the power, straighten it out, maybe a little to the right. Back down into 3 and 4, being careful to not touch that curb. There you see, hard to the right to keep her going straight. And believe me, folks, if one of them hits the curb in 3 and 4, you're definitely gonna notice it. Brian sawing away at the wheel, holding on. Riley Duncan's lead now 0.8 of a second over Edmund. Richie Joplin in third, 1.5 seconds behind Edmund, but he is closing in. Riley is still the fastest car on track at the moment. Remember, Riley is not in points contention this season. The top 2 in points are the second and third cars. Edmund Jones leads the points, followed by Richie Joplin. After last week, Edmund opened that gap up to 30 points. John Berry comes in tonight, third in points. John has had an amazing season. Zach Meade moved up to 4th, and Tyler Clifford back into 5th. Clifford will lose some ground tonight. He is not here. He was tied with Brian Hewitt for 5th coming into tonight. Hewitt's gonna take it. Timmy Martin trying to clear Ryan McDaniels. Ryan fights back on the high side. Timmy having some problems getting the power down, and Ryan holds on to it. Timmy sends it deep at a turn 4, but he can't get the job done. Ryan McDaniel holding on tonight. Richie now just over a second behind Edmund, inching closer. Bill Lux, John Barry still nose to tail. Ryan Hewitt not far behind. Zachary Meade now has 7th. Andrew Thornton back to 8th. Then this battle back behind. 9th, 10th, and 11th. It's Ryan McDaniel, Timmy Martin, and Bill Hippity Hop Rabbits. Ed Senior back in 12th is gaining ground on that group of cars ahead as they continue to battle it out. Ten laps to go for Riley Duncan. His lead now 1.6 seconds. Edmund Jones in 2nd. Richie Joplin now just 9/10 of a second behind in 3rd. Bill Lux, John Barry still nose to tail. Hewitt not far behind. The man on the move right now is Zachary Meade. He just took 7th and is closing the gap on Hewitt. And that gap is closing quickly. He might have a shot at 6th before it's over. Riley about to start getting mixed up in the lap traffic as the one and only thing that could slow him down and cause him problems. Oh, Justin Schultz gets the wall a little bit in 3 and 4 as he lets the leader by. Richie Joplin now just 7/10 of a second behind Edmund. Continues to close, but they're coming to 5 to go. Does he have enough left to get there? And does he have anything to allow him to get by? 5 to go in North Wilkesboro. But folks, don't forget, right after this race, we go to race 2. They'll pack up the late models, unpack the ARCA cars, and go at it again here at North Wilkes. Richie giving it everything it's got, everything that's left, trying to close in. Back behind, Zach Meade giving everything he has got to close the gap on Hewitt. And Bill Rabbits has just jumped up to 9th. It appears he won that battle a moment ago. Two laps to go for Riley Duncan. Down the back straightaway into 3 and 4. Heavy lap traffic ahead. And here we go. The white flag flies one more time around for Riley Duncan. Qualified on the pole, has led every lap all night long. It is all Riley Duncan tonight. Out of turn 4, Riley wins at North Wilkesboro. Edmund Jones coming home in second. And Richie Joplin, the biggest mover of the night, up 9 spots into third. And real quick, before we talk to our top 3, we're going to take a look at Bill Rabbit's pass. Bill Rabbit's, Timmy Martin, and Ryan McDaniel have been battling. Oh, Ryan gets a little bit of a love tap. Bill just slides on by and walks away with the position. Great run tonight by Bill. And man, what a race tonight. And let's see if we can talk to our top 3. Richie, you had a rough heat, but man, the comeback in the feature was truly impressive.
Yeah, I'll take it. I started in the back and worked my way up. I used it up trying to get up there. I think if I had a couple more laps, I could have got Eddie, but it would have been a good battle between me and Eddie. Yeah, my luck in these late models this season just has not been good. Either I win or get a top 3 or I'm wrecked. And so I don't know. It's just these late models. I like them. I like racing them. My qualifying needs to be better, and I need no mess the wrecks.
Well, you definitely had problems in the heat, but man, a great comeback, up 9 spots, the biggest mover of the race. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you, Doug.
Edmund Jones comes home in second. Well, another second place, but it didn't look like you had anything for Riley tonight.
You know, it's one of those that if I wasn't in the mindset of points racing right now, then I might have pushed it a little bit harder to get up there. You know, Riley's fast. I'm not saying I'm any faster than him. I could have gave him a good run for it, but right now a second place finish is better than a wrecked race car, and I knew the only way I was getting around Riley is by doing some sort of shady move. So sitting second, I'm ahead of the guy in second place in points, and just ride out the 50 laps. You know, see, I got my eyes on a bigger goal this season, Doug.
Well, it definitely worked out for you, man. Congratulations.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
And finally, our winner. It's been a while. Riley back in victory lane. It could just be me, but it seems like every time you show up, you win.
Well, I think so far at least, but I haven't in the other series. But in the late models, I think I have it covered pretty much at the moment.
Well, you definitely have something figured out in these cars, man. I know that caution had to be a little disappointing. You didn't want to see that happen, but hey, it worked out.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I knew I'm good at this track, so I was confident with not running too hard to tear up my tires and stuff. I feel like I was pretty consistent laps pretty much the entire race. So yeah, I'm happy.
Well, I did just check the statistics. So your second race of the season in the late models, your second win. You're definitely consistent, man. Great win tonight.
Thank you.
Riley Duncan gets the win in the late models. But folks, don't go anywhere. They are packing the late models into the haulers and unpacking the ARCA cars. We're going to be back in just a moment with more racing here at North Wilkesboro. Stick around, everybody.